Hi all, this is Once and Future Gamer and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. Last time we did our annual Alpha Sapphire challenge as we sought to see if I could beat that game with just a single Sandile. Let's go for something probably a little more challenging. It is actually a Hoenn Pokemon though, to be fair, as we see if I can beat Pokémon Platinum with just a single Dustox. So, Dustox is not actually as bad as you might think, but it is still a regional bug. We have a 385 base stat total and we actually have decent defences. Keep in mind though, this is a final evolved Pokemon, so we should be decent. Speed is okay, HP is okay, at least we're a mixed attacker. I don't know how I'm going to prioritise our moves. We are Bug and Poison, so we are weak to Flying, Rock, Fire and Psychic. We have no immunities, at least not to type anyway, and we resist Fighting, Poison, Bug and Grass. Via level up, we do get one or two decent moves. It does lean towards us being a special attacker though. We get Psychic moves in Confusion and Psybeam. We get Bug moves in Silver Wind and Bug Buzz. We get stuff like Toxic, which not entirely that helpful in a solo run, so not a lot to work with. Moonlight is nice, but we will see. Via TM, we do get more special moves like Hidden Power, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Energy Ball, but there's also Aerial Ace, there's U-Turn, and that's about it. There's Return. I think maybe we'll be better as a special attacker. Not really anything that's useful in tutoring either. Maybe Air Cutter, but I think it's not the best thing we can get. This challenge was suggested by Master Dressana. It's been a while since I did a viewer submission. As always, any ideas, head to the comment section down below or follow the links in the description to Twitter or Discord. Thanks for watching folks, the rules are on the screen throughout, and if you do enjoy what you see then like, subscribe and ring that bell. Let's do this. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Turtwig with Dustox so that I can do the whole run with it. I chose to replace Turtwig so that the rival would take Chimchar, potentially the hardest for us to fight. Well, I figure it's the one that will hurt us the most. The hardest one to knock out might be Empoleon since we get nothing for steel types. I put Dustox in as the starter rather than evolving Wurmple up because there's no guarantee of Wurmple evolving into Cascoon over Silcoon, and I'd be very annoyed if I had to go and catch another Wurmple. Anyway, we have a rival fight to begin with. It's not a hard fight, let me put it that way. I think for sure there will be some harder ones to come as Dustox faces off with Chimchar. At this point, we're stronger, stats wise for sure, and we go on to spam Confusion repeatedly. We hit 4 of them and it's enough to take down the Fire Monkey. I do like Chimchar, it's really grown on me the last few years. Now if it had attacked, things might have been different, but it only went for 4 Leers to lower our defence. I do have to apologise, my voice sounds a bit off during the first bit of this video in particular. I've got a bit of a sore throat while recording, but I'll battle through. When I get the chance, I nickname my Dustox. I choose to nickname her Dusty because I can be incredibly unimaginative at times. Dusty has the timid nature, so we have more speed and less attack. I think that's just about sealed our fate as being more of a special attacker than a physical one. We also have the Shield Dust ability, which is better than it sounds. Basically, any additional effects to moves don't work. So, say we get hit with Discharge, we'll take damage, but we won't run the risk of getting paralysed. We can still get paralysed by stuff like Thunder Wave, but we're not getting paralysed off anything else. But on the plus side, we also do have an immunity to Flinch and to Freeze. Anyway, training time. We've got a rival fight and a rock gym upcoming, and I would be worried about the latter far more than the former. I want to head north to Wayward Cave from Jubilife to ensure that we can fight Zubats that will give us speed EVs and Psyduck that will give us special attack EVs. It's important that I do this now. It might make us a bit over level for the start of the game, but there's no good alternative available at this point in the game if I want to be somewhat optimal for the back end of the game. Gen 6 challenges are good for getting around this with super training. I wonder what level we will need to beat the rock gym, because it probably won't be easy given we are weak to rock and at least 2 of them have rock moves. Anyway, carry on Wayward Cave I guess. There is a rival fight as we leave Jubilife City and head towards the rock gym. where he has added a Starly to his team, but we've done enough training that neither of them should be entirely an issue. He sends that Starly out, we hit Confusion and Gust to take it out relatively easily. We only get hit with Growl in exchange. We confuse the Chimchar on the first turn, and although it fights through the status condition to inflict Leer on us, we land another Confusion and then it hits itself to take itself out and give us the win. After some more travelling, I'll have to Rock in the Orberg gym. I'm not sure we'll be strong enough, but I'm curious. He begins with Geodude, it survives Confusion and causes big damage with Rock Throw, which, not ideal, but at least we can take it out with another Confusion. Okay, 1 out of 3 down, and Onix is the second Pokemon. We hit 2 Confusions to put it on red health, but get tagged with Screech and Rock Throw, neither of which are ideal. Rock heals, dropping a potion, but 2 more Confusions do take it out. But the bad news is we can't then one-shot Craniados, who downs us with Headbutt after we do about a third of its health in damage. After quite a bit of training then, I come back to face Rock again, this time at level 20. We face Geodude, and though Confusion does way more damage this time, putting it on red health, we still get hit with Rock Throw for decent damage. Ruark heals, we take Geodude out with a second Confusion. Onix doesn't go for Screech this time, only hitting a Rock Throw, which isn't too bad at all considering Onix's attack stat, and we take it out with 2 Confusions. Therefore, we have plenty of health left for Craniados. We put it in yellow health with Confusion and get hit with Headbutt. Rock uses a potion, but 2 more Confusions take it out and give us the victory. Travelling now, we're going to have the Windworks fight with Commander Mars, which should be interesting, but also I think quite doable because of 2 things. We are immune to Toxic from Zubat, and also immune to Fake Out from Pure Ugly. We're quite defensively solid, so maybe we can tank a few hits. It might be rough giving it back the other way against the big cat, but we should be fine, at least for a few turns I think. Unless we get a decent non-psychic move, I think Jupiter will be way harder in Eternal City, but we've got Gardenia to beat before then. On the subject of the Mars battle, let's do this. I said it before, this shouldn't be too bad. She begins with Zubat and we immediately one-shot with Confusion. That takes it out of the fight. Pure Ugly hits Fake Out and we do maybe about a quarter to a fifth of their health with Confusion. We then trade blows. Pure Ugly going for scratch attacks and we go for Confusions. 1 blow, countering another as we eventually take it to the point where she eats the berry. We do lose over half our health, but ultimately Dustox is the one standing at the end of it. It might just be the Jessie connotation, but if I was redesigning Team Galactic teams, I think I would probably give Mars a Dustox. It's a bit boring that all 3 of them use Golbat, just like how it's also a bit boring that they also all use Bronzor in their final fights. Okay, rethinking that as we're on the way to the next city, I'd let them keep all their aces of Pure Ugly, Toxicroak and Skuntank, but they also all just have a Golbat and a Bronzor in their final battle and it is really boring. I give Mars Dustox instead of Golbat, and just for giggles I give her a Gastrodon. For Jupiter I'd be tempted to give her Noctowl instead of Golbat, and I'd also give her a Carnivine instead of Bronzor. For Saturn I'd let him have Kadabra and probably Moffin. Does it make them better? Absolutely. Does it make sense? Well, no, not really. I was drawing from the Diamond and Pearl Pokédex as well, so I was tempted to give them stuff like Vespiquen and Bronzong, but I believe they're Elite 4 aces in base Diamond and Pearl, so perhaps not ideal. Was Vespiquen Aaron's ace in Diamond and Pearl? I don't remember, it's been too long since I played it. There'll be the Grass Gym upcoming, and I would ideally like Silverwind before it, but I think we can do without it. I think I'll definitely want it before the Jupiter fight though, to deal with Skuntank. Let us do Gardenia's gym then, and she begins with Turtwig. She's rather obliging in this exchange as we blast away into it with Psybeam, and Turtwig handily goes for Reflect to shore up the defence against that attack stat we aren't using. We then take Turtwig out with Gust. We reflect that strategy against Cherrim, firing a Psybeam into it to do just under half its health in damage while it goes to Safeguard. We then take it out with Gust. Roserade is an interesting fight. Psybeam does a huge amount of super effective damage, about 2/3 of its health, prompting it to eat the berry. We do get paralysed by Stun Spore, which isn't ideal. We get hit though with Magical Leaf and Grass Knot, but it turns out we can weather those attacks extremely well. And when we get the chance to attack with another Psybeam, we take it out. 2 badges down. Jupiter battle then, and I really wish I had a bug move to deal with Skuntank, but oh well, what can we do? Looks like I'm going to have to gust it and hope we've got enough of a level lead. She begins with Zubat, we Psybeam it down, and that's the last use I'm getting out of this move in this fight. Skuntank then. We start hitting Gus, doing about a 6 of her health each time, eventually striking her to the point where the oversized skunk eats a berry. Is Skuntank oversized? I don't know, but we do tank a bunch of Night Slashers, eventually falling into red health, forcing me to use Moonlight to heal up. Skuntank keeps hitting Night Slash attacks, and I'm truly relieved that we never get crit, as eventually our Gust attack tells and we bring down the Skuntank. Travelling now, we'll have 2 more major fights upcoming in the next city. There'll be the Ghost Gym, which I think could be somewhat tricky. Fantina isn't always a straightforward opponent. We don't have super effective moves, and she has some nasty status moves to inflict on us. There'll be a rival fight after that, and that's going to be something we'll have to deal with. I think the rival will be easier than Fantina, if I'm honest. Right, after doing the non-math puzzle version of Fantina's gym, and that's actually true of her gym in Base Diamond and Pearl, you have to do sums to get to her. We prepare to throw down with her. She begins with Duskull. I am aware she has Will-O-Wisp. We're not using our physical attack, but the damage will be unhelpful. Psybeam does over half its health in damage, she goes to Pursuit, and another Psybeam shoots her down. Alrighty then. Mismagius comes in, we go for a Psybeam, it does about a quarter, and we get hit with Confuse Ray in retaliation. We fight through the confusion and confuse Mismagius with our own Psybeam, getting her to eat the citrus berry, but she hits herself in confusion repeatedly, stopping short of taking herself out, and Fantina drops a super potion. We shake confusion off at some point and keep blasting away, but we do get confused again. Eventually, we take Mismagius out. Haunter comes out, we take some meagre damage from Sucker Punch and hitting ourselves, but we fight through and blast Haunter down with Psybeam. Let's get on with that rival fight then, since it would be rude to keep him waiting. He begins with Staravia, who intimidates us. Staravia takes about 3/4 of its health in damage from Psybeam, then hits a wing attack for about a 1/5 of our health, surprisingly decent damage. Another Psybeam takes it out. Monferno is second, we one-shot with Psybeam. Weasel is third, we one-shot with Psybeam, and then right at the very end we do the same thing to Roselia to give us a victory. I can see him only getting harder from here on out. This is normally a potential banana skin of a fight, so it's nice to come out unscathed. Travelling towards Veilstone now, we have got the fighting gym up ahead. This could be an interesting conundrum. Sure, we resist fighting and we have a psychic move, but I feel like Lucario might be a semi-tricky opponent. Well actually, I figure it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as the water gym. I think that could be our first real brick wall of the game, but we'll see. There's also going to be a steel gym after that, and I'm definitely worried about causing damage there, since we don't really get anything useful for steel types. Mind you though, this issue may resolve itself as I go into the game corner in Veilstone and check our hidden power type, but it turns out we have the fighting type hidden power, which incredibly useful for dealing with steel types, so all is not lost. I'm going to get the money together for the TM, but I don't have any need for it right at the moment. It's not going to help us in the water gym, and I don't think we'll need it for the fighting gym, Lucario being a steel type admittedly, but you know, our psychic attack's going to be neutral damage, so meh. Let us take on Maylene and see how this goes. She begins with Meditite. We strike out with Gust. It survives on red health and misses Rock Tomb. Now, I am expecting a heal that never comes, and we take Meditite out with Gust. Interesting. Machoke is second, and we one-shot with Psybeam. Lucario is third. We crit a Psybeam for massive damage, taking out 2/3 of its health. We do get tagged with Metal Claw, but another Psybeam takes it down. So that went well. 4 badges down. Dustox trivia then. Several Pokédex entries talk about how they're drawn to the lights, be they city lights or bonfires. They eat leaves, stripping them off roadside trees. When they flap their wings, they scatter poison dust that, according to a few different Pokédex entries, can even make a pro wrestler sick. Apparently, they are difficult to chase away from settlements. Jessie had one in the anime, though it was released to go off and mate with a shiny Dustox, and I was immediately drawn to the Bye Bye Butterfree similarities when I heard that. Dustox shares its category with Venomoth, they're both the poison moth Pokemon. Before Gen 6, Dustox and Beautifly shared the same base stats, just with the attack and defense being swapped around. In Gen 6, Beautifly got a 10-point increase to special attack, but Dustox did not get a stat increase. It seems to be based on a Japanese lunar moth, and its name may be a combination of dust and toxic. Before I can enter the water temple, I have to fight the rival again in Pastoria City, and we throw down outside the gym as he begins with Staravia. I am so glad that Intimidate is a non-factor in all of this. It's not affecting our main attacking stat. We put Staravia on red health with Psybeam and confuse it, but it fights through and goes for double team. However, we then take it out with Gust. Monferno is a one-shot with Psybeam, and although Weasel hits Aqua Jet on us, we can shoot that down with a Psybeam too. Last is Roselia, and Psybeam tears through it, so another simple effort. I want to make a statement about Crash Awake. I believe he is genuinely the consistently most troubling water gym leader in the entire franchise. Look at the competition. Misty does have her moments, to be fair. Wallace's gym team is pretty insipid, the Milotic aside, and Juan's team is 4 jobbers being backed up by a Kingdra. Nessa and Kofu aren't anything to write home about, and I don't think Marlon is either. Come at me, internet. Anyway, Wake begins with Gyarados, and this is the main obstacle. Our Psybeams don't do a huge amount of damage, not quite enough to free hit Gyarados, and we are getting hit with waterfall attacks in exchange, which, while not doing huge damage, they are noticeable. When Wake goes to heal, we use a Moonlight to recover health. We then have to start the process all over again. Gyarados does drop us into yellow health after we've blasted it a bunch of times with Psybeam. We use another Moonlight to recover health, and we shrug off Brine. We get dropped into yellow health once again, but we can take Gyarados out with Psybeam and Gust, which, massive relief. Quagsire is second, it survives Bug Buzz and hits Rock Tomb. Wake heals, we hit a Gust and go for Moonlight to recover health before being hit with another Rock Tomb attack. We take Quagsire out with Bug Buzz as I realise our speed hasn't been affected thanks to Shield Dust. Floatzel is a one-shot with Bug Buzz to give us the win and the 5th badge. Jumping forward then to Celestic Town, there is a battle with Cyrus, and I have to confess to being a little leery. I mean, I don't think we should have too much trouble with this fight, but I am curious about the later ones. The Distortion World one might actually be awful. He begins with Sneasel, and we use our new Hidden Power to one-shot it. Murkrow is second, we one-shot with Bug Buzz to take that down. Golbat is last, it survives Psybeam and counters with Air Cutter. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage though, but Cyrus heals. However, we then crit a Psybeam to take it down for the count. Travelling towards Canalave City then, there is going to be a rival fight upcoming, and then we have to face the Steel Gym. I am thinking about what we've got in store and our moveset. I did put Hidden Power on, but I figure I've got the choice between Shadow Ball and Psychic for our other move to replace Psybeam, since it's slowly losing a lot of its punch, but it's a tough choice. There are arguments for each. Shadow Ball will probably be more useful at the league for Lucian. Psychic might be more helpful against stuff that is immune to ghosts, like the rival Staraptor or Cynthia's Togekiss. I don't know. I don't fancy taking on the rival's Staraptor with the move options of Fighting type Hidden Power and Bug Buzz, because Shadow Ball won't work. On the subject of the rival, he begins with Staraptor and we are intimidated, but we hit hard with Psybeam to do about 2/3 of its health. It only goes for a double team and we take it down with another Psybeam to put us into battle with Infernape. Infernape is a 2-shot with Psybeam and Hidden Power, but it does inflict nearly half our health in damage with Blaze boosted Flame Wheel, so that's rough. Heracross survives Psybeam and hits Aerial Ace, but we take it out with another Psybeam. Floatzel hits Aqua-Jet and we're not going to outspeed that, but we take it down with Bug Buzz before Roserade is last. It survives Bug Buzz and misses Grass Whistle, but we take it out with Psybeam. This could have gone very badly wrong. We have got the Steel Gym to conquer next and the face-off with Byron. It's going to be another time when that Fighting type Hidden Power is probably going to be quite useful, I think, since this was something I pegged as a possibly tricky fight ahead of the run. We don't get great ways to counter Steel types otherwise. He begins with Magneton, we go for Hidden Power and one-shot with a crit. We hit Bastiodon with Hidden Power. It does quite a bit of damage, prompting it to eat the Citrus Berry, before another Hidden Power takes it out to put us into battle with Steelix. We do pretty decent damage with Hidden Power, about 2/3 of its health. We do get hit with Earthquake, but we take Steelix out with another Hidden Power, and that gives us the 6th badge. On to a Galactic Boss Rush now, and we have to face off with Commander Wolverine at the lake, and I think we will be relatively fine here. He's probably, on balance, the easiest of the 3 commanders. He begins with Golbat and we one-shot with Psybeam. Bronzor is second and we land a Bug Buzz for massive damage. It survives and hits Gyro Ball for small damage and we down it with Hidden Power for a knockout. Toxicroak is last and goes down to a Psybeam to give us victory. Commander Mars is next and the fight goes similar. Her Golbat survives Psybeam, which is moderately annoying and hits us with an Air Cutter, but we take it out with another Psybeam. Bronzor survives Bug Buzz and hits Extrasensory, which does some damage but not a whole lot, and we finish it with Hidden Power. Last up is Purugly, who hits Fake Out, but we ignore the flinch and land a Bug Buzz for massive damage. A Hidden Power is then enough to take it down and give us the win. We are travelling towards the Ice Gym now, and I still have that set of thoughts about Psychic or Shadow Ball. I don't actually know off the top of my head where the Psychic TM is in this game. I feel like it can be gotten at some point before the Elite Four, but I can't think where. One of the things that really shuts us down are Soundproof Mr. Mime, because we don't have a fantastic way of battling those. I did actually look up where the Psychic TM is, and it turns out it's in the game corner. Oh dear. So that's a lot of cash we're going to need. I'm not sure how easy or difficult the Ice Gym is going to be. Frostlass will probably be the worst opponent by a long way, I figure. There'll be another Team Galactic boss rush after that, as I'll have to fight Saturn, Cyrus, the Mars and Jupiter double battle, and then the final Cyrus fight. You know what, it's a good day. I'm not even going to mention how much I hate the puzzle in this Ice Gym. Instead, I'm going to jump straight into the battle with Candice. The advantage of a bug type is that I know she probably won't send a Bomber Snow out early, so we're not going to have to deal with the hail throughout the battle. She begins with Sneasel and we clap it with Hidden Power for a quad super effective one-shot. Piloswine is second, we land Bug Buzz and get hit with Avalanche for a decent amount of health, but she heals up the next turn, and that's the opening we need to land 2 Hidden Powers and wipe Piloswine out. Frostlass is third and we start hitting Psybeams. 2 of them put her on about a quarter while she goes to double team and Psychic, and let me tell you this, Psychic hurts. She eats a berry as well, but thankfully we crit our next Psybeam to take her out, and last is a Bomber Snow. But Bug Buzz is all we need to cut her down, and that gives us the win and the 7th badge. Sneaking through the Galactic HQ now as I work my way through. I am fighting everyone because I think I'll definitely need the levels in the near future. We've got at least 2 tricky fights in the next 4 major battles, potentially 3 depending on how the first Cyrus fight goes. The easy one should be Saturn, should be, but who can tell. The double battle is never fun, and I think we may struggle with the Distortion World fight. We usually do. It is the sort of battle where electric moves are usually incredibly useful, and unfortunately we have none. Plus our fighting move isn't entirely the best. He does have some dark types, but unfortunately Houndoom and Honchkrow will only take neutral damage from Bug Buzz. The Cyrus battle actually goes incredibly well, and I'm quite surprised by it. He begins with Sneasel and we one-shot with Hidden Power. Honchkrow is second. We managed to crit a Bug Buzz and take it out in 1 hit. His last Pokemon is Crobat, and we do get somewhat lucky as it misses Supersonic. We do get hit with an Air Cutter, but 2 Psybeams are enough to take it down for the count. Okay, I bet the next one isn't that easy though. The Saturn battle is very shortly after, and other than chugging a potion, I don't heal before going in. He begins with Golbat, who survives Psybeam and hits a crit Air Cutter, but another Psybeam takes it out. Bronzor survives Bug Buzz and hits Extra Sensory, but we take it down with Hidden Power. Last is Toxicroak, and all it takes to bring it down is a single Psybeam attack. Going through Mount Coronet, what's upcoming on the channel? Well, I did go on a bit of an uploading splurge recently for my Pokemon TCG stuff, uploading 1 a day throughout the working week. Well, the truth is, I had that much excess content that I didn't know how I was ever going to get rid of it all. I mean, there was stuff on here that it was recorded back in January, February, March, so by the time you see this, it'll be September. It had been lingering in my folder for quite a long time, so it was good to get it out of the way. Also, I don't know how much of it I am going to record in the future, so clean start I guess. I'd not been uploading any playthroughs of anything, so that's not much to mention. I did start the Resident Evil 7 one some time back. I still kind of do want to continue it, but here's the thing. This is like the 3rd time I tried to play that game, and like the 3rd time I've given up so far through it. It's just not something that I don't love that game, put it that way. I will try and persist with it, but we shall see. My next challenge is going to be my 3rd DS-ish one in a row as I head to Pokemon Black and see if I can beat that with a single Meowth. Could be very interesting. I enjoy playing Gen 5 and I do like Meowth. It's a fun Pokemon to use in challenges, so should be interesting. Well, I say that based on the one challenge that I used it in so very long ago. As always, if you have any ideas for future challenges, head to the comment section down below or follow the links in the description to Twitter, Discord, Patreon or Instagram. Probably best on here to be doing it, folks, to be fair. I don't remember the last time I went on Discord. Thanks for watching, folks. Into the double battle next. I have done nearly 150 of these challenges, and I can honestly say that this is one of the hardest bits of game in the entire series. Not just the double battle, but the fight that comes after. Still, I'll worry about that later. We face the double Bronzor, and one of them survives Bug Buzz, prompting them to both use those double screen tactics that make this such an enjoyable experience. Spot the sarcasm. We strike a Bug Buzz on the other one for about half its health. We get struck with a crit Extra Sensory, and then the rival's Munchlax decides to make a name for himself and takes out the Bronzor we hurt badly earlier. Skuntank comes out and tanks Bug Buzz. We get hit with another Extra Sensory, but we take the other Bronzor out with Bug Buzz, just as Skuntank takes Munchlax out with its second Poison Jab. Well, it wasn't helping much anyway. We blast Golbat with Psybeam for about half its health before Floatzel uses Brick Break to shatter the screens. I'm pretty sure that we're just about to go down anyway. Golbat hits Air Cutter for meagre damage. Floatzel is hit with Poison Jab before we take the Golbat out with another Psybeam. Skuntank is hit with Iron Tail, but takes Floatzel out as Purugly enters the fray and is shortly joined by Staraptor. Purugly is nearly one shot with Bug Buzz but barely survives. It hits Aerial Ace and then Staraptor takes Skuntank out with close combat. We hurt the Golbat badly with Psybeam, confusing it, and then Staraptor takes Purugly out with close combat. Golbat then hits itself in confusion and takes itself out. What can I say? This battle, always chaotic. Anyway then, the Cyrus fight in the Distortion world. I knew being walled was coming and we very nearly got away with it on the first try. However, we run into a Gyarados shaped obstacle as we can't really effectively hurt it, and we lose so many turns fighting the Gyarados. We get hit with so many waterfalls and it has a Giga impact as well. We do take it out, but we are weak enough that Weavile takes us out with Fake Out. On later efforts, we get messed up by Houndoom, we get messed up by Honchkrow, we get messed up with Crobat, and it draws me to the conclusion that I don't have enough in the tank to win here, and so I bow out to increase our levels. Do I need better moves? I want to make at least one more try with Psybeam when we're powered up. I mean, Shadow Ball or Psychic would be an improvement, but see my previous comments about not being sure which were more useful. Or, I was thinking earlier, maybe run both. I mean, I was trying to work out if a point would arise if I'd actually need fighting coverage in the league. And I don't think I would. Maybe for Aaron's Caesar, but even then, I don't think a fighting type hidden power is going to be wildly effective right there. I know Bertha has some rock types, but even then, I figure any decent special move is going to be just as useful. Anyway, I make another try on Cyrus at level 80. This goes so much better, even if it does look touch and go at one point. He begins with Houndoom and we are able to one-shot with Bug Buzz this time. That's good, fire moves will be painful. Honchkrow is also a one-hit with Bug Buzz and that's even better. Crobat is third, it survives Psybeam on a Sliver and hits Confuse Ray before Cyrus heals. We hit ourselves in confusion a bunch of times, we get hit with a few Air Slash attacks over the course of the fight, and our health is dropped under half, but we managed to shake off the confusion and 2-hit Crobat. Now Gyarados. Our Psybeam is doing better damage. I do have to use a Moonlight to recover health, but it's all useful. As long as we don't get crit, I think we'll be fine. We fire off a bunch of Psybeams and one of them drops Gyarados into red health before it hits Giga Impact. We then take advantage of it being unable to move to take it out with a final Psybeam. Weavile is next, we are on red health, we just need to survive Fake Out and hope Hidden Power is enough to one-shot. Both of those things come to pass, we knock Weavile out, giving us the win. Travelling to Sunny Shore then, we've got the Electric Gym coming up and I'm reasonably confident. Volkner never seems to be that bad, but in these runs it's usually because we've trained up a ton to need to be able to beat Cyrus, so I figure these two things are connected. I might as well do this while I'm here. I did the YouTube search to see if anyone has ever tried this challenge before. I searched to see if it had been done in Platinum, I searched to see if it had been done in Diamond and or Pearl, and I could not find a record for any of them, so Prasanna came up with a world first. Woo! Anyway, Volkner. The first effort is a respectable loss after being paralysed by Jolteon and being battered about with fire type attacks, but I prep up for the second attempt. I give Dusty a Cherry Berry, we fall just short of one-shotting Jolteon with Bug Buzz, we get paralysed by Thunder Wave and Volkner heals, but we have eaten our berry and we can then take Jolteon down with Psybeam and Bug Buzz for a knockout. Luxray just about survives Bug Buzz and hits Fire Fang, but we can strike a Psybeam to take it out on the next turn. Electivire is a one-shot with Bug Buzz and last is Raichu. It barely survives Bug Buzz and hits Charge Beam, but Volkner heals. I figure Psybeam would be a two-shot, but it survives the second one on a Sliver and then hits another Charge Beam. A third Psybeam does take it out to give us the badge, but I think Psybeam is slowly falling behind in terms of power. Travelling through Victory Road then, let's have a look at what's up ahead. So we will have that rival battle, which is not usually a fun one. I don't think it will be impossible, but between some of his more potent team members, we might just need to be careful. Then it will be the Elite Four. I'm not too much worried about Aaron, just have a horrible feeling about his Vespiquen, and maybe Caesar. Bertha might not be that bad, I've just got to be careful about being hit with rock moves. At the time of writing, I figured Flint could go either way. I am concerned about being hit with fire moves, put it that way. At the time of recording, I know how it went, so yeah. Lucian will have psychic types. I know Mr. Mime is going to be annoying since I can't bug buzz it. Cynthia is probably going to be Cynthia and likely rough. I think Togekiss might be the worst opponent of hers, and maybe Melodic since it's traditionally quite hard to fight as an exclusively special attacker due to it having Mirror Coat. I might have to do something about that. At the Pokemon League, the rival ambushes us and we have to face off. I finally learned Psychic. He begins with a Staraptor and we are intimidated. I strike a Psychic, and we do massive damage, but just fall short of one-shotting it. We get hit with Aerial Ace, but down it with Hidden Power. Infinite is second, this time we do one-shots with Psychic. Snorlax is third, and Hidden Power does about a quarter. We get hit with Body Slam, then we put Snorlax on red health with a Bug Buzz for massive damage. It then uses Rest, but I use 2 more Bug Buzz attacks to take it out. Heracross is a one-shot with Psychic, and so when it comes out in 5th is Floatzel, who doesn't do anything. Roserade is last, but it doesn't survive Psychic either, and we take the victory over him. Here are our stats at level 90 as we are about to go in. You know what? These are not bad. I'll take these. They're pretty good on all fronts. It is worth remembering I'm using a slightly better Pokemon than I normally do, a Final Evolved Pokemon, but it's still essentially a Route 1 bug, so I don't know how the argument marries up. But yeah, this could be worse. Take your guesses on if we can do it at this level or not. Right now, folks, let's do this. Cue that Gen 5 battle music. Bug Trainer Aaron is up first, and this is a messy fight, I will say that much. He begins with Yanmega, who survives Psychic and goes for double team. Aaron heals, we have to land another Psychic and a Hidden Power to take Yanmega out, but we do get struck with a crit Air Slash for big damage. Vespiquen is second, and we can two-shot her with Psychic at least, but we do get hit with a crit Power Gem. This is going well so far. Out third is Drapion, and we one-shot with Bug Buzz, so we can get some good health recovery there from the Shell Bell. Heracross is fourth, and we one-shot with Psychic. Last is Caesar. Hidden Power doesn't do a lot of damage. We hit 2 of them and drop it slightly below the half health mark. But we do get struck with 2 Iron Heads to put us on red health. I go for a last-ditch Hail Mary of Bug Buzz, and despite the move being resisted, we take it down. 1 Elite Four member down. Ground Trainer Bertha is second, and I'm reasonably confident. We do lose a first attempt after getting put to sleep and stone edged to death by Hippowdon, but the second one does play out quite a bit better. She begins with Whiscash, and we land a Hidden Power. I do this because I found out Bug Buzz doesn't quite one-shot. She then puts the Sandstorm up, and we take it down with Bug Buzz. Gliscor is second. It takes about 2/3 of its health from Psychic and counters with Earthquake for meagre damage. Another Psychic takes her out. Golem is third. We strike a Bug Buzz and do huge damage, but it survives, probably due to the Sandstorm. We get hit with a Fire Punch, Bertha uses a full restore, and then we two-shot the Golem to take it out. Rhyperior barely survives Bug Buzz and hits Avalanche. We take the chance to heal with Moonlight before shrugging another Avalanche off, and we take it out with Hidden Power. Hippowdon is last. We hit Hidden Power. We do get crit with Stone Edge, but we then take it out with Bug Buzz to give us a win. Fire Trader Flint is third, and this is where we crash into the brick wall as we're getting hit for super effective damage every time, and it is not pleasant. The AI is probably a little too good to not use random moves. At level 91, Houndoom barely survives Bug Buzz and then can hit us with Flamethrower, which does huge damage. Also, Flareon has Overheat, Rapidash has Flare Blitz and Bounce. Magmortar is just a huge obstacle on the rare occasion we do get to it, and it can hurt us really badly with Flamethrower. I quickly realise I can't do it at this level and bow out. I return to Iron Island to get some levels, trading up. I need to be able to hit harder and take less damage. We're only a short way from being able to one-shot Houndoom, and at least with more levels we may be able to two-shot Flareon. I'm just very worried about what it does with that one shot it gets. The worst thing is, I know if we could take Magmortar down and get to Infernape, we'd win very easily. I make some more tries at level 100, but we're still falling short. There's quite a few occasions when a crit would save us, but we don't get any, or at least any that matter. In the end, I rethink my strategy. I change up my held item and put a Razor Claw on Dusty, and eventually we get this run. Houndoom has long since ceased to be an issue, and we one-shot with Bug Buzz. On this run, we crit Flareon with Psychic and one-shot. Flareon is not a one-shot otherwise. Rapidash is third, we land Psychic, but it survives and goes for Sunny Day. That is problematic. Flint heals, we land a Hidden Power and a Psychic to take it out. Magmortar takes less than half health in damage from a Psychic attack, then wipes out over half our health with Flamethrower, but we crit the Psychic attack needed to take it out. Last is Infernape, we one-shot with Psychic to give us the win at long last. Psychic Trainer Lucian is fourth, and I put Return on Dusty for this fight and the one after. Anything to help deal with Mr. Mime. Oh, and Cynthia's Melodic. I've got to get there first though. He begins with said Mr. Mime, and we one-shot with Return. This was a good decision. Espeon is second, and we one-shot with Bug Buzz. This is going far too well. We one-shot Alakazam with Bug Buzz, and up fourth is Bronzong, who survives Bug Buzz on red health and crits us with Psychic. Thought it was going too well. Lucian heals, we hit a Return, and then a Bug Buzz to take it out. We then conspire to nearly lose versus Gallade, as Bug Buzz does just enough damage to trigger the Citrus Berry and to take it out at potential two-shot range. We land another Bug Buzz, it survives on red health, but we get dropped to 2 hit points from Psycho Cut and Stone Edge. However, we can finally take him down with another Bug Buzz for the win. Phew! Just the champion fight left then, and Cynthia is waiting. I have no idea how this is going to go, but I figure I'll make a few trial runs at her and see where the obstacles are. This was the plan anyway. She begins with Spiritomb. We do huge damage with Bug Buzz, putting it on red health, but we get hit with Psychic in exchange. She heals, we hit another Bug Buzz to put it back on red health, but then she switches to Togekiss before we can end it. Bug Buzz does about a fifth of Togekiss's health, but they then get struck with an Air Slash. However, we take Togekiss out quickly with Psychic and Return. Spiritomb comes back out, we end it with Bug Buzz. Melodic is next. I take the chance to use Moonlight as she fails with Mirror Coat. We two-shot Melodic with Return, the second being a fortunate crit, as we only got tagged with Surf in retaliation. Garchomp is next. We do big damage with Bug Buzz, triggering the Citrus Berry. Unfortunately, it just about takes her out of two-shot range as she survives a second Bug Buzz on a Slither. We are losing a lot of health to Earthquake attacks though, and Cynthia heals. I take the chance to use Moonlight again when she drops that full restore. Although we lose some health to Dragon Rush, we take Garchomp out with Psychic and Bug Buzz. Lucario is a two-shot with Psychic, though we do lose quite a bit of health to Stone Edge. And last is Roserade. We one-shot with Psychic, and just like that, we've won the run. We can go on to enter the Hall of Fame and draw a line under this run. Well, I didn't think Cynthia would be a first try anyway, I'll say that. It was definitely an interesting run. Thank you for joining me, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, call out with a comment and smash that subscribe button. I did enjoy this. Please join me again next time for another Pokemon challenge as we see if I can beat Pokemon Black with a single Meowth. I'm intrigued to see how that one plays out. I do like Meowth a lot. Any ideas for future challenges, head to the comment section down below. or follow the links in the description to my Twitter or my Discord. But with that, there's not too much more to say, so I'm going to jump off here. Thanks a lot, folks. I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great day and see you on the next one. So long. See ya. Bye-bye.